afternoon. My name is Greg Hiller. I'm a teaching professional for the Alamo City Golf Trail and also a PGA apprentice here in San Antonio, Texas. And I'd like to talk to you about some of the principles which I teach by, along with some of the equipment that I use to improve the play of various students from beginner to advanced player. To my right here I have a fitting cart. I've got a launch monitor. I've got a few teaching aids, a live board, and some tape. I'm going to first probably talk to the student about what it is that they're struggling with. I want to talk to them about maybe a possible injury that they have, and I also want to talk to them about their goals, long-term and short-term. My goal as a teaching professional is to make things as simple as I can for the student. Some of the common things that I hear when I'm teaching golf students at various levels is their last lesson that they had with somebody was very complicated. They got much worse. They've never really gotten a lot better. They don't like to be so technical. My job as a teaching professional is to take this technical equipment and absolutely make it so simple that virtually anybody at any level of the game can understand. My job is to take the numbers off of a launch monitor, which can be very confusing, and help the student understand them, how it helps them, and how I can help them change those numbers with either golf lessons or better fitted equipment to make them play better golf. As a fitter and as a teacher, I feel it's an absolute necessity to know when to fit and when to teach. And on the teaching side, the first thing that I'm always going to ask them is, where's the ball going? That is the sole reason why they are here in front of me today, is that it's this simple. That golf ball is not going at their intended target repeatedly or as many times in a row as they'd like. So it's my job as a teacher and as a fitter to find out why that is. It could be many things. It could be the lie angles on their clubs could be wrong. They could have a fundamentally bad grip. They could be doing some other things in their golf swing that prohibit them from making a good motion at the golf ball. So some of the things that I also like to cover in a lesson is I like to break up myths. Myths such as I have to keep my left arm straight. I have to keep my head down. I think I should have a slow and smooth swing and be careful. These are just some of the myths that if I encounter them, I like to break them up for the student and then let them move forward to playing better golf. So one of the first things that we'll be doing as I'm working with the student is I'll have them hit some golf balls, I'll take a look at their fundamentals, and I'll just see where the golf ball is going. And then based upon those observations, I may put some face tape and sole tape on the golf club, have them hit a few shots off the live board, and then we'll go from there. The launch monitor will probably be used at another point, maybe more so in a fitting, or if for some reason I'm seeing the student having some trouble with their driver, maybe they're hanging back on their right side, trying to help the ball into the air, and they're looking for some loft. So I can actually show them the difference that I can make in their ball flight with not only a properly fit golf club, but the change in the numbers on the launch monitor. And it's also fun for the student so that when they go somewhere or watch some little show on the Golf Channel, that the numbers that they're giving on the Golf Channel, they kind of have a familiarity with them and said, hey, I've been on the launch monitor, I can do that. I've seen my numbers changed. I know what spin rate is, and I know how launch is, and I know how that affects my game. So, but to begin, I'd like to talk about, first of all, the grip. I won't go through the entire grip as we put it on the golf club, but I'd like to call myself a grip fanatic. It's something I check with every single student. I don't see a whole lot of great grips out there as I'm going up and down the lesson tee and the driving range. I like the grip to preferably be strong. I like it to the V's to be over pointing at least towards the right collarbone to the right shoulder. Most of the people you see slice, and so most of them have a weak grip. Most of them, their club and their wrists kind of collapse coming into the hitting area because they just don't have the strength to support a good solid hit. A punch shot or some sort of a shot that needs to be hit low is totally out of the question for those people, and this really is evident when you've got a woman or a young child or an older senior in front of you that simply cannot square the club face at all and don't have hardly any power. So for example, I will use the fitting system that I have here. Has about 3,500 combinations, and I can take multiple shafts, shaft lengths, shaft flexes, driver lofts, fairway wood lofts. I can use any of those myriad of things to help the student. And I have actually had some exciting discoveries using the fitting system with people. One of the things is that most people are better athletes than they think they are. They compensate way more than they think. They are actually good enough to tell the difference between different kinds of shafts. They can see tangible differences in the ball flight with change in loft, or maybe I choose to weaken or strengthen the lofts of the golf clubs, and I've got some heads on there that I've done that to help show them that. The most common response is that I'm not good enough, or I thought you had to be a pro to get custom fitted. This is totally not the case, and I've seen very, very fast acceleration in people's games by first discovering the need for custom fitting and also putting that custom fit golf club in their hands. Golf clubs can help you. That's why we look for the latest driver with the best technology, but golf clubs can also hurt you. And so if a golf club is misfitted, for example, the most typical thing I run into is drivers with not enough loft on them. Shots will be left out to the right, students will be hanging back on their right side, looking for height, and by simply giving them a driver with more loft, their swing goes from hanging back, looking for height like this, to having a stronger, more balanced finish on their left side, which is what everybody would want to have. Hi, I'm Greg Hiller, teaching professional for the Alamo City Golf Trail and PGA apprentice in San Antonio, Texas. I'd like to take just a little over a minute here to give you a tip on a punch shot. Obviously, if you're playing in a windier area, you need to control your golf ball. I'm going to teach you in less than a minute how to have the fundamental basics of how to hit a punch shot. There's about two things that you have to do in order to make your punch shot effective. The first ball here represents my normal ball position. So I've got a 9-iron in my hand. The second ball is going to be my new and improved ball position. Normally, I may have it set up just slightly forward of the center of my stance, but in the case of a punch shot, I want to have it just back of center. I'm going to grip down on the golf club for control. I'm going to move about 60% of the weight to my left side, and I'm going to keep it there. And also, I'm going to have the handle ahead of the golf ball. So we've migrated with the ball back, handle forward, weight forward. And from there, you're just going to keep your weight buried on your left side, and you will hit down onto the golf ball, keeping it lower. This will help you keep it under the wind and control it better when you need to. Just remember, when you got a short iron in your hands, shoot for the fiber.